Today we will have special lecture on disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada by His Grace Madhu Pandit Prabhu.
Today is the disappearance tithi of our beloved founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It's a very special day to remember the glories of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We all have heard so many wonderful qualities and pastimes of His Divine Grace, especially in spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world in a short span of 11 years. While we have heard so many wonderful pastimes from different devotees, individually, as well as his activities as the founder Acharya, head of the Hare Krishna movement, they are all rare activities in this material world. We sing Samsara Dhava Nalalida Loka Tranaya Karunya Ganaganatvam Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam. He brings the cloud of mercy from the spiritual world. Just like when that cloud becomes rain, we get wet in the rain. In the same way, this cloud of kripa from the spiritual world, Krishna's kripa, He brings down the cloud and rains mercy on the population, on the living entities who are suffering in this material world. Coming in touch His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada itself is a great fortune, and such fortunate souls who come across Prabhupada, they receive through his association powerful seed of bhakti, which if we cultivate, a seed has to be, you have to pour water, you have to cultivate, then it will grow. So Prabhupada, the Acharya, comes into this material world in order to plant the seed of bhakti in our hearts. How does he plant the seed of bhakti in our heart? Or why some people get the seed, some people don't get the seed? Just like in the ground, the soil is good. Seed, it will sprout. Exactly in the same way, especially those who are wanting to know the purpose of life, which is otherwise meaningless, so-called false purposes, does not make any sense. Because whatever purpose people decide to work for in their whole life, at the end of life everything is gone. The soul has to live. So that cannot be the purpose. There must be a higher purpose. So those who ask this question very deeply, what is the purpose of life? What is happiness? What is suffering? All these fundamental questions that you see in this world, That question should be those who, in whose heart this question is burning for answers. Hunger is there for these answers. That is the best soil in which Prabhupada can plant the seed. So the Guru comes down from the spiritual world. The spiritual master is not a person of this material world. Prabhupada was sent by Krishna into this material world for planting the seed in the hearts of those who had, one way or the other, had unanswerable questions about life. So anyone who has such a hunger for knowing who is God, what is absolute truth, who are we, what is our position in this material world, why we are born in a particular body, in a particular family, why not in another body, another family, why against my wishes suffering is coming, why unexpectedly reason for happiness also comes. Who is determining all these things? On what basis? What is birth? What is death? These are the questions that the modern science cannot answer. These are our problems. This is the problem that we are facing in this material world. So Prabhupada travelled all over the world, and all the souls who had got this hunger over many years, many lives, immediately the seed was planted. One meeting, seed was planted. Either by seeing him, feeling his presence, or by even, most of the time, simply by his words. They're not ordinary words. Seeing him was not ordinary. They're all spiritual seeing, spiritual touching, spiritual hearing. So we hear experiences of thousands of devotees. Imagine Western people who had no idea of Krishna, no idea of our Hindu culture, Vedic culture. In the first meeting, immediately, Prabhupada's transcendental talk, his walk, his glance transformed the heart. Means they knew this person can answer all my questions. In that way, millions of souls have been transformed, continuing to transform. Even today, Srila Prabhupada is attracting so many souls to him. So, spiritual master, a pure devotee of the Lord, very confidential associate of Krishna. Krishna is always in his heart, and Srila Prabhupada is always in Krishna's heart. From such a person, you do seva to him and you hear from him.
with a genuine quest for guidance, feeling emptiness in material life, then immediately that what Prabhupada speaks, those words, they penetrate in our heart and will change our life. Change our life for what? Change our life to a meaningful life
with respect to who I really am. I'm not this body. We are not this body. It's a temporary journey in this body. But what is the long-term journey? What is the real purpose of life in this material world? Is to get liberated from this suffering. Birth, death, old age, disease, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, doshanu, darshanam. Srila Prabhupada now, post 1977, he is more active than he was pre 1977. I'm not simply saying. If you have met Prabhupada in this hall, nobody has met. Even I have not met. Yet, we are inspired by him. We are guided by him. So is Prabhupada active or not now? Yes. All over the world is active. On this disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada, we have to remember that physical disappearance of the spiritual master is not equal to disappearance of spiritual master from our life. Let's say in your family, your husband goes away for 2 months or something goes abroad. Do you think he's permanently disappeared? Or? No. My relationship is there. He'll come back, right? In the same way, we have to understand that such Bhagavatas, Mahabhagavatas, pure devotees of the Lord, they continue to do and carry out the mission of connecting us to Krishna, because it is Krishna's work. What is the first thing that the spiritual master, the seed he puts in us is that you are Amsha of Krishna, you are part of Krishna, you have forgotten Krishna. Your best friend is Krishna, your best relative is Krishna. Your eternal life is with Krishna, not this life. These words of the spiritual master penetrate in our heart. Otherwise, without spiritual master, we have no direction. We have no direction. Generally, Hindus know dharma, artha, kama, moksha. I should get moksha. Whole of life is moksha, but nobody knows what is moksha. Even that we don't know. So what to speak of what is pure bhakti? Pure bhakti is different from bhakti that we show for so many material things. We don't know who is the person whom you are worshipping. If you don't know that you are worshipping Krishna as a supreme Lord, who is a Lord of material universes, Lord of spiritual universes, the supreme limitless person, then worship will be for some other purpose. You have to worship Krishna for the sake of belonging to him. Only reason you worship Krishna, pure devotee. Not because he has given me sukha, he has given me so much, this and that, all those things. No. If you see so many things, Pandavas suffered so much. You may ask why Pandavas were given, Krishna did not free them from all this. Why he did not prevent suffering? Prahlad Maharaj, why Narasimhadev had to wait till last moment? Why he could have prevented all this suffering for Prahlad Maharaj? So like this, we can ask, create so many reasons to have faith in Krishna or have no faith in Krishna. But all these reasons why you have faith in Krishna also is on shaky foundation, except one. What is that? I belong to him. Sense of belonging to him. I am Krishna's. And Krishna is such a limitless person and such a kind person that every living entity can say, I am Krishna and Krishna is mine. I am Krishna and Krishna's mine. Krishna is mine. Why you serve him? Why you chant? Because he is my Krishna. Not because he solves my problems. I want a peaceful life, so let me chant Hare Krishna. No. Just like telling the child is telling, I love my father because he gives me this, he gives me that, he gives me this, right? Suppose you don't give. Will the child ever say, you are not my father? No. Sukha or dukkha, my relationship is relationship. It is not a created relationship. In the material world, there is a beginning to a father relationship, there is a beginning to mother relationship, there is a beginning to child relationship, there is an end to that also. But Prabhupada taught us that our relationship with Krishna is nitya, is eternal. No beginning, no end. All these things are revealed in the Bhagavad Gita. A pure devotee of the Lord, his words penetrate our heart to reveal these truths to us. It is not a small thing. Prabhupada explained, we are all like children of God, children of Krishna. Just like a rich man's child, forgotten his home and is loafing around everywhere. In the same way, all the Atmas in the material world are loafing around in this material world, forgetting Krishna. Sometimes you call somebody, no, you're a loafer. Correct? From Krishna's point of view, with respect to our real status, our real dignity as servant of Krishna, all the dignity we see in this material world is loafer dignity. This you will understand. When you chant Hare Krishna, you will understand this. When you realize little by little that I am Krishna's, Krishna is mine, Now I'm in a dream. In a dream, you forget who you are, no? You take various roles in your life. In a dream, you've forgotten in real life who you are. Similarly, we are all having dream lives. And the seed of dream life is what? I am this body. Because your dream is all centered around your identification that I am this body. To know that you are a spirit person beyond this body, body is not a person at all. The spirit person is thinking he is the body. That is why Prabhupada says this is a science of self-discovery. Discovering yourself. Naturally, if the child leaves the home and he roams around, he doesn't share all the riches of his father, right? A multi-billionaire son roaming around the street is begging for food. This is our situation in this material world. So is it not a great service if you go to that loafing child and say, look, your father is a billionaire. Why are you begging in the streets? What is the kind of life you are having? A life of janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, dukkha, doshanu, darshanam. You are entitled for a life of eternal bliss, ananda with Krishna. No dukkha, no birth, no old age, no disease. And the spiritual master says, come with me, follow the path I say. You will reach that, your original home. Your best friend you will reach. Surrender unto him. Teaches us how to surrender to him. So, if such a child who is roaming around, forgetting his home, to tell him his real address and tell him what is the path to go back to his real home, meet his father, don't you think it is the greatest service you can do to that person? Yes. That is the greatest service. So similarly, we are all lost in this material world. Every living entity is lost into this material world. Krishna sends acharyas, pure devotees of the Lord, like Srila Prabhupada, whose only job is to remind everybody and wake them up. Very important. Here comes the point. We can all say the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. But what is the speciality of the Acharya? His Shabda has the Shakti to go deep into our heart and awaken us. Simply hearing, okay, we are all dear to Krishna, I am Krishna's, Krishna is mine. But the Acharya's words has a power to make you feel Krishna is yours, make you feel I am Krishna's. Realize. Everybody doesn't have that Shakti because they are self-realized. They got that Chitta Shakti. Fully realized souls that Shabda has got the power to change us. Whatever little change that has come in your life, it is because of Prabhupada's word has struck you somewhere, sometime. Very often we forget that. But please always remember, first time when you came to Krishna consciousness, first time you got introduced to Prabhupada, what happened in your mind? You recall. Prabhupada touched you. You should recall that. You should remember that. That will deepen your relationship with Prabhupada. It will increase your gratitude to Prabhupada. If not for Prabhupada, where I will be, where I will be roaming around, life after life. Now I know where is my destination, where I should go, what is the purpose of life from now up to death, what I should do, what I should not do. And I'm so happy that I'm going to die with a smile. Why do people die with fear? Because they don't know where they are going. If you are blank, you don't have a destination, then you are in fear. But look at what good fortune Prabhupada has given. When a Vaishnava is about to die, even if in a sick bed also, internally he is in great happiness. I'm going to go to Krishna very soon. Because the spiritual master protects, he takes us to Krishna. If we are becoming his disciple, not socially his disciple. Following his discipline is called disciple. Socially Diksha I have taken, I carry my bead bag. Okay, it is a support. But the essence is just like you carry a bead bag without mala inside. You'll say, hey, what is this? Now you take. You have a japa bag also. Inside mala is also there. But you don't chant. Same thing. Japa bag without mala, you're a fake. And then you have mala inside, but you're not serious. Sometimes you chant, sometimes you don't chant. You're not serious. Krishna observes all this. Krishna is in our heart. This is another biggest gift that Prabhupada has, this knowledge, the conviction that Lord is seated in our heart as Paramatma. Paramatma and He together takes us back to God. So, how much we have to be grateful to, first to the Supreme Lord, who sent such a pure devotee to save us, to the spiritual master himself, because the material world means it's a difficult place. There he has to come. And there he has to face all the circumstances of this material world, because that is the nature of the material world, Krishna's creation. Be in the midst of us and then pick us up. Sometimes you should sit and you should think about all these things. Then only you will develop the value of having got Prabhupada as a spiritual master. Repeatedly think, do mananam about the circumstances in which you came to Krishna consciousness, and how the key point where Prabhupada's pure personality struck you. Don't leave it like that. It's a good fortune that to everybody it does not strike. Otherwise they simply say, okay, so many gurus are there, he's another guru. This is not about touching Prabhupada or Prabhupada touching you. It is very It makes you serious in Krishna consciousness. Even whatever degree of seriousness that you have now, you are million times more fortunate than those who do not know anything about Prabhupada and never touched Prabhupada, never come in touch with Prabhupada's institution. You are already millions of times more fortunate than so many living entities. Now try to become more and more fortunate by taking the fortune that Prabhupada is giving. By reading his books, most important, reading his books and following the instruction that he has given in his books for your own good. You're not doing any good to ISKCON, or you're not doing any good to Prabhupada. Prabhupada is doing good to you. ISKCON is doing good to you. I am doing seva in ISKCON. I am doing this, I am doing this. You are being blessed with the service. Grab every opportunity to serve. A pure devotee, everything we do here is for the pleasure of Prabhupada. Through Prabhupada it will reach to Krishna. Krishna is limitless. You cannot, you see, you need a via media to reach anything to Krishna, to develop a relationship with Krishna. We cannot conceive. A pure devotee, because of his love for Krishna, Krishna is in his heart. And because Krishna is in his heart, he can give to his disciples, Krishna. And if we get Krishna in our life, what does it mean, Krishna in our life? Get Krishna in our life means I should become thoroughly attached to Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. I become thoroughly attached to him. You are everything for me. Thoroughly attached to Krishna. That gift we should seek from Prabhupada. And then he will give us that. How much we want, he will give. Guru and Krishna gives you as much as you want. I want only this much bhakti. Wait a minute, after a few years, Krishna will say, okay. How much you ask, he will give you. No force. The only one person who does not force the living entities is God. That is one of God's qualities. Doesn't force anything. See, even in our relationship, somebody is forcing you don't like. Somebody gives you full freedom you like. He's a very nice person. Krishna is that person. Full freedom. You want to come, you want to come to me. You want to forget, you forget. You choose to be independent, be independent. We create our spiritual destiny by our decision. How much, how fast we want to go to Krishna. But Prabhupada, pure devotee, he desires, be intelligent. He says to his disciples, be intelligent. Don't take one more life. This is your last life. Decide for that. I have given you guidance how to make this the last life. Pakka directions are there. Step 1, step 2, step 3. That is the business of ISKCON. Movement of Prabhupada to teach this every step. On this special day of Prabhupada's disappearance day, let us remember the glorious activities of Srila Prabhupada and his disappearance. Remember that his disappearance does not mean he is not living in our midst. Prabhupada says, the press reporters asked Prabhupada, what will happen after you die? What is the reply Prabhupada said? I will never die. Tak answer came, I will never die. I live forever in my books and you will utilize. So there is two kinds of presence of the spiritual master. When he's physically here, it's called Vapu, and means physically. Physically, when he reciprocates as a walking person, as a deity, is a Vapu. Each different forms of Vapu, they reciprocate, just like the Vapu form of Prabhupada. He reciprocates for our worship. He receives our worship. He receives us to develop connection with him, with his transcendental form. And then he has this Vani. Vani means sound. Sound is no limitation of time, space, substance, body, nothing. You call Prabhupada with devotion, we call Prabhupada helplessly, you surrender to him, everything he receives. He hears you, he receives you, he guides you. So thus a disciple never feels that the Guru is absent from his life. Prabhupada himself said, I never felt I was away from my spiritual master. I always felt his presence. That is the tattva, that is the principle. The spiritual master shares all the qualities of Krishna. Krishna is all-pervading, Guru is also all-pervading. Because he is serving Krishna for his purpose. If a disciple wants to live with his Guru, you will live with him. He will guide us, he will direct us. Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.